So it's been a minute. A very long minute. Grab my phone here so I can get the Twitch chat up on my phone. That's still the only place that it'll actually stay updating properly. Hello everyone. Sorry that it took me 3 months, but you know, life has its moments. But we're here now. Put the chat right there. There we go. Hi Matt. thank you for the egg. I appreciate it. You fucking idiot. Okay. I have swapped mic setups like twice. Oh, you know, that's fine because there is a handy dandy recap of the first episode that we'll get at the very start of the second episode. But yeah, so we're doing some more Alan Wake. I kind of feel like playing some. But yeah, I've adjusted the mic settings back and forth in the 3 months, so I don't actually know how good these settings are. So let me know if I need to adjust sensitivity or loudness or whatever. Anyway, where's the video game? And display? Hope it does. Let's see. If I click in, it will display. Aha, there we go. There's the video game. Okay, I should probably give it sound. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Silence. Oh god, I will never stream a Persona game because streaming a 80 to 100 hour video game sounds like hell. I don't know how some people can do it. How do I sound over the game audio? Is it fine so far? I know it's just menu music that's chill and comfy, but still fine. Seems to be fine. Okay. Okay, cool. We'll see if that sticks. All right. Hopefully this takes me to the start of the episode. If not, I can.
Previously on Alan Wake.
Yeah, there we go.
I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
Can't talk about 24. I'll actually stream the 24 video game. Don't tempt me, I'll do it. No one wants that, trust me. Not very good.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on.
Alright,
It'll warm
okay.
you up.
Tab. Yeah, let me know anyone else if you need to like turn me up a lot or something. That just means I can probably turn my own thing up a bit. You know, having stayed in a New York apartment for a visit I did a couple years back, this is pretty accurate.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Even done this early on in the game. I appreciate the little details, though. Oh, whoop. For whatever that was. I just like their whole entertainment system all being up and everything except for the TV, which is just nice. Little things make you feel lived in properly.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Let lose on. Oh yeah, there it's right there in here. There we go.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them.
I don't know what it is about that delivery, but it's really good.
Body. The last time was the last
Oh
time.
yeah. Let's see. Okay, these pages for the older books that Alan Wake has written are really good because they're very clearly just supposed to be Max Payne.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me. This was a late goodbye.
Yeah.
13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now. My wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Rip to the Max Payne 3 from Remedy that we'll never ever get. I still like Max Payne 3 for what it is, but there's just
Oh, and speaking of Barry,
there's something
he
missing,
called.
you know.
Alan! Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
Thunder, what I get, Casey, things that I want. I appreciate the
I really don't like this,
dual
Alan.
pistols as
Please
well.
hurry. Alan, I really need those lights on.
There we go.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay, hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry.
That's right. She's got the
It
whole
just
thing where
really
she
spooked
can't
me.
Don't
handle being
worry.
in the dark.
We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
And say what you will about The Last of Us 2, it's definitely taken us far in terms of kiss technology.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake?
I was wondering if people don't
How
talk
are
about
you
Max Payne
feeling?
3. Because it's kind of it's a mixed bag.
I'm okay.
To say the
My head's
least.
fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
So, Alan Wake came out at a really weird time, where... Because it was just a couple of years after Deadly Premonition. I think Deadly Premonition was, what, 2006, 2007, and this was like...
I believe you'll find the sheriff in her office.
2009 or 10, I think. Anyway, they were within a couple years of each other. But it was that really weird bit of time where we were starting to get a lot of things that were very clearly influenced by Twin Peaks coming out when Twin Peaks was not readily available. The DVDs were out of print, VHSs were long out of print, and it wasn't on any streaming services. So... while some people were like, hey, this is a lot like Twin Peaks, there were plenty of people that were like, okay, but what the fuck is Twin Peaks, though? Anyway, this is literally just... This is just the conference room.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
A friend of mine recently went to the town that a good bit of Twin Peaks was shot in. Really funny how much of it is exactly the same, and also is a actual tourist attraction.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
Definitely didn't shoot those people, don't worry about it.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Hi, Emma. Oh, no worries, Marvin. It happens. Remember Ride to Hell's kissing tech? I try not to remember Ride to Hell, if possible.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't.
Well, yes, Emma is the woman/webcomic artist famously behind the internet sensation of Axel the Dog.
I need to take
and
this.
hit webcomic Rat City.
Hello?
Which everyone should read.
Alice, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot.
Oh yeah, the fucking the Verizon. There's a Verizon and Energizer product placement all over the place in this movie. Or this movie? Fuck this game.
There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
Whoa. Sitting rat. Okay. Yeah, Energizer makes sense. Twin Peaks is that show that Ash and my other friends got addicted to. It wouldn't show up about for 3 weeks. Trust me, it's gonna be a lot longer than 3 weeks.
I need to get
That
some
show's
air.
gonna be
The
with you
sheriff
for the
said I
rest of
could
your
go out
fucking
back.
life.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he quit
God,
drinking
she
for
even
good.
talks just like the
No such
receptionist
luck. He
in
went
Twin
on a bender
Peaks.
and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the brake float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Stucky, as a reminder, is one of the people that was being possessed by the evil darkness, and we shot in the face.
Hey, you! Can you help me? Can you turn the lights on?
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Hey, please help me, man! Thank you, man.
There you go, buddy boy.
You're alright. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be.
Oh, I know you say that Sprite Commission's gonna be free, but I'm gonna pay you anyway. Deal with it.
All wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen.
Gonna play this game in Deadly Premonition before watching Twin Peaks, so I can say it gives me major sweary and fetish vibes.
That wasn't Danny. No,
Good, do it.
sir.
That's the way it really should be, I think.
You wanna know who it really was? I tell you.
I'll find a way.
Who it really was.
I'll find a way to pay
It
you.
was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounded like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, "Go through the fence on the left."
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the Sheriff's Department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deerfest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting that the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
My fingers are, in fact, still crossed. Yeah, I don't know email. I don't know if they're putting them out in batches or not.
The fence behind the police station.
I guess we'll see.
There was something for me in an abandoned car.
Come now, Marv. You should know. I never give anything away before. Good.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been getting the Infinite Flight
Alice's
emails,
driver's
so
license had been placed.
I know
in the
some
front
people said
seat.
that they
The caller
got them
meant
like
business.
a bit later than other people did, so I have to assume they're doing it in batches. Or at least that's how I'm gonna cope.
Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen
Best
to me.
boys here.
I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Oh, that's right. I've got to jump slash climb, but I completely forgot. Shit. It's because they the game like disables it in certain areas, so I really forgot about it. I can't do it in here. The walkie-talkie zone.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
I don't know anything about Alan Wake, but I'm getting Indigo Prophecy vibes, huh?
Marvelous, Sarah.
I'm sorry I had to make that comparison. You should be sorry.
All the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent...
David Cage wishes he had even a little bit
They are not accountable for
of the
their
power
actions,
of Remedy.
of course. I can assure you that...
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
I love those zooms.
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move. Get your hands off of my client.
There he is.
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
Now, see, if there's anything I know about David Cage, it's that he's slimy enough to wiggle his way out of anything.
I told Barry everything. He thought I was
I
certified.
very much believe
when
he'll still be
heard about the
making
manuscript,
games.
I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him.
Like,
He
worst
smelled
case
money.
scenario, he just
And he
fucking
believed that Alice
leaves
had
the
been
country
kidnapped.
and goes
Anything
somewhere
beyond
else
that
to
was
make his
another
shit.
story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood
All town with
National
Burgess
Park.
vibes? What is
The
this,
plan was
Higurashi?
to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute
Twin
opposite
Peaks
of good.
is the Higurashi of the West, so you know.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
So the lip sync on in this game is really bad.
Who's Max?
But some of the expressions are fucking gold.
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you.
Skeleton of a Colombian mammoth. 1,000 years old, was recovered from the La Brea tar pits in 1981. It was a national park in 19. Colombian mammoth became Washington's state fossil. Named Bucktooth Charlie to become the park's official mascot. I love Bucktooth Charlie. I want to hug him. Look at that boy. Worst part of Twin Peaks is that I couldn't watch it and was tormented. All the talk from my about it. Yeah.
Seriously,
there was
a
a period of time where fucking no one could get access to it. I know you're not talking about then, but it was rough for a bit. When all these games and shit were coming out influenced by Twin Peaks, everyone was like, okay, how the fuck do I watch Twin Peaks, though? It was a dark time.
What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? Are you high? Have you been drinking?
Here's a little detail that I love. If you actually walk far enough away, he stops talking, so you don't miss the story stuff. Thank
Do
you,
you
Remedy.
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Also, I said this last stream about 3 months ago, so anyone remember, but I'm not going to try to get all the thermoses, because fuck that. I'm gonna try to get all the manuscript pages I can. You can't get all of them on the default difficulty, you have to do it on, like, the hardest to get the rest, but I'll try to get most of them. We'll see. The file preference sent me couldn't be played on my computer, so I had to put the video editor, which was draining my computer, and only got
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here.
Look at
Actually,
that dog.
I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in a trap. They're illegal to use here. Hell, you're not supposed to hunt within the park at all. But that doesn't stop some lowlifes. Well, at least Max is gonna be okay. You got lucky. Max is still groggy from the shot I gave him, and I'd rather not leave him alone just yet. The form's on the desk across from the mammoth skeleton.
So, I swear that this and Dead Space also came out really close together, and they.
Okay, boy, we're almost done here.
These two games especially like break the I think the whole idea that this particular gen was super rough visually. Because man, the art direction in this and Dead Space
Those situations
is
always
so
end up in
stellar. It still
disaster.
holds up so well today, even if the textures are like, kind of fuzzy and muddy if you get up close to them. Fine.
You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No.
Good evening.
This
Welcome.
whole thing. Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha! Let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there
I love him
real
so
funny,
much.
Al. You can quit it now.
Bye, Barry.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too. If you have any trouble
Goodbye, Max
finding
the
it,
dog.
just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that. Oh, and hey, if you take a walk in the woods, watch your steps so you don't end up like Max. I guess I'm a little worried. We got a bunch of campers out there we haven't heard from. It's not like these people are on a schedule, but with the traps, well, you know. I just don't want any trouble.
Right, thanks.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would...
That's enough, Barry.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Achoo! Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again. Achoo!
Bless you.
For Gen 7, Alan Wake, and Dead Space 1 and 2 do look good. They look super good. Again, it's what it's always been about, and that's art direction. And you can have all the 8K textures that you want. Doesn't matter if the game just doesn't have a good art direction. All brown and ugly, it doesn't matter at all. That's why I think Morrowind looks way better than Oblivion does. Because Oblivion is just a really, really boring setting. That's what they did with it. And Morrowind is fucking weird as hell looking, really cool. Even though Morrowind was ugly as hell even when it released by... What was that, 99? Was that 1999 came out? I want to say it was. Would Alan's wife buy Wonder Bread and push for a station stop? Alice is a nice lady. She doesn't deserve that. Doesn't too? Okay. Yeah, I always fucking think it's 99 for some reason. But that was, Half-Life, right? Yeah, that's probably what it is. Daggerfall is 98 or 99, yeah.
Here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Locking the door now.
How's his library and stuff? Half-Life was 99. Okay, cool. Barry doubts Wick's sanity.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
Yeah, Halo's actually a really good example in Gen 7 because you've got, like, Halo 3 and Halo Reach, which both, you know, like, there's a big fidelity difference between them, but they both look super good. And Halo 4 is technically, you know, way higher fidelity.
I gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest.
But I don't like the art style in that game
as
much as
angry with Barry for
in
trying
Halo
to talk
3.
me
So I
out of
think
it.
that
These people had
to my brain, it
called
looks
me
worse than
sheriff
Halo 3.
station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Though it depends on the area. Parts in Halo 4 look really good. I'll also always appreciate this game's willingness to let me just wander off the beaten path just a little bit. There aren't even be anything there. It's fine. Just let me walk off a cliff. It's okay. Yeah, the narration in this, like, actually being like a novel is super good. Just because it sounds like Stephen King.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan.
When it comes to shooters, the like modern shooters, Gen 7, does Far Cry 2 count? 'Cause I like Far Cry 2 a lot.
No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty universally agreed upon that Bad Company 2's multiplayer was probably the best of the franchise, at least up to that point.
Well, considering your track record, the participants are
Either that or
probably
2142 if you're a crazy person like I am.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
It really is a shame that after Bad Company 2, things got... Ooh. Is there a dude there? Or brain just do something? I feel like there's a dude. But yeah, after Bad Company 2, they had to, you know, really nerf the destructibility and stuff, and I don't know, I just really liked how, even though all the buildings in Bad Company 2, like, were basically the same, I just really enjoyed how you could just completely bring them down and everything if you tried hard enough. There's always something really satisfying with, like, just sneaking your way around a building, planting charges on it with your team when there's another team holed up in it, and then all of you detonating them at once. Uh-oh. 2142 is really good. I think there's still... I don't know if they ever shut down the official servers, but I'm pretty sure there's still these fan servers up for that. That new 2042 game there, you know... I'm sad that it's set when it is, so you don't have, you know, cool mechs and everything. But I appreciate that they're doing essentially the Halo custom games type thing. So it'll have more longevity than I think more recent Battlefield games because of that.
The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs.
Alan Wake is a game that makes me not feel even slightly bad about being very blatant. I pull from for my writing inspirations, because everything is just said right out in this game.
The man in the mirror.
Who gives a shit if people know what you're pulling from, as long as it's good.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt.
This is so good.
But the white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What?
glad that Remedy stuck with the having live action stuff be on TV screens in their games, in Quantum Break and in Control, especially in Control. Control probably does the best of it they've ever done. Oh, it's super creepy. I also think when you're bladed by your inspirations, people won't feel like you're being taken for fools. The aforementioned Quantic Dream games for people who try and bury their inspirations. Yeah. Uh-oh. One thing I want to know more about Gen 7 was the Japanese game side. It really seems people fault 360 and PS3 for them not being good or something else. That's a whole other can of worms that is a lot. There's a lot to go into with that, and there's people that are way better at talking about it than I am. But needless to say, it was definitely a hardware thing, but also it was just kind of a weird transition period for them. I mean, especially if you look at fucking Square, because that was right in the like the heat of Wada being in charge, and Wada's, well, only now is Square Enix properly recovering from not having him around anymore.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was. The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. "Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page."
Fear God. No.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me! Hello?
I'm back here. Hey. Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
Very sad you cannot pet the dog. There. Okay.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
That dog sound.exe, yeah. Hey man, if you got pre-recorded Foley, you use that as much as you can.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe.
Yeah, Inafune was definitely a part of the problem for Capcom. Not the only problem, I would say, but a big thing to point to it.
I was too late.
Ruh-roh.
Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty! Rusty!
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
Just need hunting licenses.
I still love how chunky the shooting feels in this game. Alan Wake is willing to take its time to get to the shooting, but when you get to it, oh man,
Something
it's good.
had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals.
Fishing
Is only permitted
for those
visitors.
who purchase a park
Fishing.
license. Obey
The park ranger's instructions.
at all times.
Rusty? Rusty, no!
Never. To bears and wolves, never approach any other
Wildlife
closer than
25 yards.
pets must be leashed.
At all times.
Never leave your
Pet unattended.
It is
Against the law.
to remove any
Natural objects.
or historical artifacts from the park. This includes even
Rocks.
you may
Find along the river.
or even simple berries.
Alas. Farewell, Rusty. Good man with a good dog. Oh. It's been absurdly hot lately here in Springfield. Was it some organizational / managerial turmoil that made the development for a lot of Square Enix projects hell? The turmoil is called WADA. The fucking CEO at the time. It's fucking nightmare. Everything under that man. Like, I don't generally like the narrative of, oh, you can pin blame on one individual in an industry or some big corporation or whatever as being the problem, but like, no, literally the second that WADA was replaced, shit just started to get better. Projects that were at least kind of creative started to get approved. What do you know? What a concept. Nier Automata got, like, approved, like, fucking moment of what a step down. The entirety of the Final Fantasy 13 universe being scrapped and remade. Yeah, that was part of it.
What the hell was that? I saw it from the window. I saw it.
People like to blame Tabata for Final Fantasy 15 turning out the way it did, which is fair, but it's more, I think, a matter of like him just still continuing a lot of the philosophy of Wada.
Be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
You should reinstall Dead Space 2. I think everyone should replay Dead Space 1 and 2 before that remake comes out, and just becomes the default way that people talk about Dead Space, just like what happened with Demon Souls. Yes, I'm still bitter about Demon Souls. Because this is because they've already said with the remake for Dead Space that they're like changing shit. Like they're like, we're gonna bring in elements from the other games stuff. I'm like, you don't really need to do that though. I'm really afraid they're gonna like have Isaac talk throughout the entire game. When Dead Space 1 works, and the way it does by just being exactly the way it is.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Like, even just having Isaac talk throughout the game and shit would completely change the feel of Dead Space 1. Which I don't mind him talking in 2, because 2 makes good use of it. But 1 is like... Both those games are just tailor-made perfectly to what they were going for. The comparison from going from like Alien to Aliens is a pretty solid one. Uh-oh. Buddy. Oh. Okay. Yeah. But Dead Space 2 still had a lot of legit scares that the kinds of which that I don't think Aliens does. Mandalor's videos on Dead Space are really good. Yeah, his videos are really good. Jacob Geller's got, I think, the perfect video for talking about Dead Space 2 as well. That just came out like 2 days before they announced the Dead Space 1 remake. Yeah, Dead Space 2. I think I think even Dead Space 1 is as good as Resident Evil. I finished Final Fantasy 13 recently. How'd that go for you? My default is to say I'm sorry, but I haven't played Final Fantasy 13 in over a decade. I should probably revisit that, just to see if I still feel the way that I did before. Like, I'm fairly confident I will, but still. Dead Space 2 remake. They have to remake Your Mom's Gonna Hate Dead Space 2. Okay, you know what? I would actually be okay with that. That ad campaign fucking sucks, but it's also so funny to think about. Like, that is just that era of game marketing, and like specifically EA marketing, just like quantified and condensed perfectly. Same with the fake protests that they paid for Dante's Inferno. Visceral had a rough when it came to EA marketing their games, I swear. I had a blast, honestly. It was the first Final Fantasy game I finished. The first I tried, I was 15, and I dropped it almost immediately. Yeah. I'm a largely gay bi man, but lightning is hot. Yeah. Toriyama got what he wanted. And, we should all be so lucky when it comes to designing a waifu and putting her in a video game.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart, too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
Dante's Inferno sent real money to game journalists and said it was part of the 7 deadly sins, in that case, greed. Man, Dante's Inferno marketing is the funniest shit. I don't think, of all the weird EA marketing that they did, nothing tops Dante's Inferno, especially since, like, all that they really had to say was like, hey, at the end of this game, you see Satan's dick, and it's got physics. And I love whenever you go into like a super like darkness fucked zone. Yeah, it gets all blurry and wispy and shit. Alan Wake strikes like the perfect balance of like having oppressive darkness, but also still letting you actually see shit. Like, I feel like I'm struggling to, travel through the woods and shit. But also I can actually make things out. Let's fuck that up. Also, this game will fuck you up if you're not being careful. I am not. Dante's Inferno needs to be preserved because it's fascinating as an adaptation, just a piece of media in general. Yeah, it's wild that they took the Divine Comedy and they were like, let's make a fucking God of War clone out of it. I remember looking up cutscenes for the MC's ass reveal at the end and just sitting on it. Yeah, it was that. I've been there. Games marketing such promos in 2000s are hilarious. Remember when Acclaimed promised to pay for UK speeding tickets for Burnout 2? What? I had no idea about that. That's great. Great Old One, built by lightning in 1937. This exceptionally tall Rocky Mountain Douglas fir, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, was over 200 years old. According to local legends, it stretched beyond the stars. After fell, was measured to be 66 meters tall, nearly a record length. Yeah, I appreciate it being called the Great Old One and stretching out beyond the stars. I see you, Remedy. I see what you're doing. When EA caused a gridlock for the UK because of one of their games, I don't remember. Why is it always EA? watch the ammo. I was remember something about them offering to pay people to christen their newborn babies Turok. If I recall, God, is that might be worse than I don't know if that's worse or the Bethesda being like whoever names their baby Dovahkiin on 11/11 will get all of our games for free forever after that. And then someone did it. Mercenaries 2, they were giving away free. Oh my God. Paid $40,000 for the fuel. Yeah, no wonder that game killed the fucking franchise. Jesus. There's an achievement for killing babies in Dante's Inferno called Bad Nanny, and that pissed off actual nanny organizations. Oh. Got a sprint. There's that good stuff. Yeah.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
Hello, welcome. To have you here. I remember that the Halo 4 Mountain Dew ads would lead to that image of Jeff with Mountain Dew and Doritos. God, everything about that ad campaign was worth it for a Dorito Pope. I'm so... I know that was a really rough time in his life, but he's doing fine now, so I can be happy about how that all looked. Like, everyone talks about the Dorito Pope photo shoot, but no one ever talks about the fucking, like, the videos for around then as well, with him like at some like promotional release party or something. I don't remember. Where there's just a bunch of like booth babes and shit, and they're all like feeding him Mountain Dew, and he just looks so miserable. Jeff could be hyping a strip show on game trailers when they were on Spike TV. Following, yeah. Waiting for that Halo Infinite email. Yeah, me too. Really like to get it. Let me check my email real quick. Oh. Yes. Shots left. I heard it could appear in spam. It shouldn't for me since I've gotten insider emails before, but just in case. Nothing. Alas. I wonder if I should commission articles. Persona and Hatsune Miku cosplay? Yes, you should. You always should. I think everyone should commission artwork of themselves dressed as Hatsune Miku at some point. What was the Hitman Absolution Facebook ad? I don't remember that one. Comes a live reaction stream if I get the invite. Yeah, I'll just fucking scream. That'll be the reaction. Straight up, you do whatever you feel is best. I want to see what you come up with. Okay. Oh, good. Give me more reason to give you money. Then I'll find a way to get to you. Remember the kill your friends. Was that it? Seriously? It was that if you hire a hitman to kill your Facebook friends. What the fuck? God, that was a time. Hitman Absolution especially is a trip. Where this ring was cut from 1846, the year of the Oregon Treaty. Other notable events marked on the rings. The Washington Territory was formed, the foundation of the Bright Falls Mining Company, the town itself. Washington was granted statehood, tree damaged in a forest fire. The Bright Falls Mining Company closes its doors after volcanic eruption below Cauldron Lake. Mount St. Helens erupts, tree fell by storm. Really activates those almonds, you know? Yeah, I know. My Sona is paying to draw for some. For that. Oh please, Ash is chill. You wouldn't ever fuck anything up by not meeting an art expectation or something. Strange Energy to Meteor from 2008 to 2012. Yeah, it's called Desperation.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
Like again, Halo 3 changed ad campaigns forever and shit. And so everyone was just desperate to be like, okay, what can we do? What's some weird, insane shit that we can do to try to top this without just doing this again? Which, to be fair, a lot of people just tried to do that campaign again. What was the Splinter Cell Conviction promotional song? I don't remember that one either. So many of these campaigns were just...
We gotta get moving. More of them coming.
That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
flashlights, kid stuff. Love this guy.
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see him. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! You better keep up. You set him up, and I'll...
Oh yeah, I'm
down,
sure Infinite will get a big old campaign. Vineyard did it good, but they recreated the event. Yeah, that was fun. Some dumbass at Ubisoft thought it was smart to promote the game by having someone dress up as an enemy from the game and wave a fake gun at a popular Auckland bar. Cops were called and almost shot the actor. Thankfully nobody was hurt. Jesus Christ. I do remember Sneak King. Sneak King was good.
Hear that? It's them.
Buddy.
Lover's Peak, right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun!
No time for back talk. Pull them off, damn it! Just a little longer. Scare them off. Get some light on those bastards. That'll keep them off us.
God, there's something about just the vibrancy of the of light in this game as well. It's so good.
Okay, it's open. Move it or lose it.
Oh, look at that red. It's a tasty red.
Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
Remember this whole sequence on the hardest difficulty being just nightmare. Ah, never mind. Do it. Fucked up. Oh. Shit. The
Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
SEO Halo ad? What?
This is it, Wake. A last stand. There's more flares here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
Geico. Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Oh. I will say, Remedy, if you're gonna give me a sequence where someone else has to be shooting, please make them more accurate. Beautiful.
Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
Touch her while...
You're gonna give me the manuscript or you'll be sorry! No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He had Alice, and he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power. But I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now.
Yeah, I think we were planning to do the same thing with Gurm. Yeah, no. If I ever see George R. R. Martin face to face, I'm absolutely gonna Be like, okay, man. Where are the fucking pages at? Now you got it. What do you mean you've written 2 other books in the meantime? Before you finished writing Winds of Winter? God, I think the worst thing about waiting for Winds of Winter is knowing that there's still one more book to come after that. That bastard just better be like, okay, I haven't released Winds of Winter yet because I'm actually writing it in Dream of Spring at the same time, and they're coming out the same day, or something. Just God. Like, it's been long enough now since I last did my last reread of that series, that I feel like I need to do another reread just as soon as he actually announces a tangible, definite, I can pre-order it release date. Yeah, we don't talk about the PSP White and Black ad. That was a... All the PSP ads were a nightmare, though. I know some people really like those squirrels, but man, I wasn't feeling it. Like, there was a small part of me that was considering, maybe I should get a PSP, and then I saw those ads, and it actually made me not want to ask for one. Oh.
Rusty warned me about these traps. I wouldn't want to get caught in one of them. Those teeth look nasty.
Nasty.
Sarah didn't care about the legal threats Wake's agent had made. She let Wake go without argument, because there was something about him she couldn't quite put her finger on, something that reminded her of her father. She didn't think Wake would hurt his wife. Then she thought about the way he waded into Hartman, that hair-trigger rage flaring up without warning.
Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out pretty definitely, at least. Like, at least with that, it's like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where they were like, yeah, what we were doing was really bad, so we just restarted, just like they did with what CyberConnect was originally doing with that. Yeah. Bayonetta 3 though, I have zero confidence in showing up anytime, especially soon, especially because Kamiya is like, yeah, I've also got a fucking an Ultra game that I'm working on as well, and I see. I know that he's not, like, the director on Bayonetta 3. But I feel like, at this point, he's going to be giving at least some input on Bayo 3. And him working on his next big passion project is going to delay that. Who's directing Bayonetta 3 again? It's not the same guy that directed 2, is it? Oh, I'm not even gonna fucking talk about Babylon's Fall, because I'll just get depressed. That's, There's rough. And then there's how that game is looking. E3 was exceedingly depressing this year. I remember a lot of people were like, "Oh yeah, this could shape up to be like the best E3 we've had in years," and it's like, you really think so? For, you know, after a year of COVID? Nah, devs are still fucking struggling to get through like proper setups to work on what they're working on. There was no hope for this year. There are a couple of nice looking things, but it was destined to be pain. I try not to be a hype person anymore, but I can't deny it. Sometimes I just get really excited about something and I can't shut the fuck up about it. So I like E3. Do it. Yeah. Fuck you guys. There you do it. Use your big brain. Do we know anything about Final Fantasy 16 that that game's reveal felt ethereal? Yeah. We know the people working on it are good people, so you know I can be excited about it.
The night had been one desperate situation.
We should always be excited about chaos.
Exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
Also, one thing that's nice about Alan Wake is, so at the end of each episode, you lose all your weapons and stuff. So there's really no major need to hoard what you get. You should definitely use everything.
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here. It was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
Oh. Oh. Dang it. See that that Kill Chaos game, like I'm not like super excited for it or anything. Mind you, I didn't get to play the demo because I don't have a PS5. It doesn't super seem like my kind of thing, but I do at least appreciate everyone memeing on it. That's very fun. This is gonna bug me. What is this? Oh yeah, a bunch of people were definitely thrown off by Spider Cortana. That's just what I'm going to keep calling her, even though she's called the weapon, because that's just what she is. Alright, I am giving up on trying to find the stash, because I'm not seeing it. One made this way. Nothing this way. It's fine. I have a hunting rifle. Can't go back up there. Down we go. Yeah, I really don't understand anyone that still thinks Infinite like looks weird or bad, because everything they've shown over the last like since December, they started doing the Inside Infinites and onwards, is like, oh yeah, this all looks really good. The chat from FFO looks like Boo Power, yeah. Cortana 2 Innocent Sin and Cortana 2 Eternal Punishment. That actually might work a little too well. It's also really weird that people are like going with that single line about Cortana being deleted and think she's actually deleted, when the immediate follow-up line was like, okay, who did it? And she's like, oh wait, you didn't do it? Well, I'm here, so I guess maybe she isn't then. Like, that's pretty clearly what's being said there. I don't get how people are getting confused about that. Maybe it's because I started watching Sopranos, but when I think of the weapon, I think of Dr. Melfi energy. Yeah, no, that's fair. I definitely want her to psychoanalyze the chief. This game is like the most basic guns ever. It's so good. gamers like big brain. Yeah, they do. I will never forgive gamers for being gamers. Seeing folks speculate that Chief might have amnesia for some reason because Cortana mentioned about hitting his head on something and there's a marker on the back of his helmet. It's possible. He probably just, yeah, you know, just little things like that. Like, kinda doesn't fully remember everything that went down. That's possible. I could see that. Also him, you know, floating out in space on the most basic of life support for like what? How long has it been since quote unquote we lost or whatever? It's been like a month or something? Oh no, Spartans can definitely get brain damage because Fred spends all of like almost all of Shadows of Reach with a fucking concussion. He's real loopy because of it. Ah.
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
160 days since we lost. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know, fucking floating out in space for like 5 months or something. Yeah, no, that'll... He's probably not doing too good. Probably doing kind of bad. I don't think it's gonna be like a complete reset thing or whatever, though. That'd be too weird.
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
She's surviving 5 months. That is raw. Also made some good armor. Got super good life support systems. Man too depressed to die, basically. Yeah, it's pretty rare that, like, with, like, actual amnesia cases, you'll get folks that just, like, have, like, full-on brain wipes or whatever. That shit just doesn't really happen. Not commonly, at least. Not in any instances that I super know about. We call for Microsoft to do a partnership with VTubers and have VTubers being personal AIs for Infinite. There. Darkness, where's her face? That's left. Ah. 8 shots left. I don't remember where any of these are at. I just feel like I know this game.
Shadows stirred and the wind picked up as I ran through the forest. I felt the dark presence turning its gaze toward me. Then the moonlight was blotted out by dark shadows that raced violently across the ground, moving too swiftly to be natural. Darkness gathered between the trees and melted again to reveal the Taken. No natural path had brought them here.
Our brains are the most complex machines in existence. A categorization determined by our brains. Yeah, no, the brain's not so. that's my official take on the human brain. It's nuts. So. This game's also super generous with just like giving you ammo and shit. You really shouldn't worry too much. Unless you're playing on the hardest difficulty, then it just sucks. Look at this fog and shit. When did this game come out? Someone check for me. I want to say it was 2009. Look at this. It's wonderful. Wow. Oh! Brain damage either ruins your life or turns you into Professor X. Yeah. I feel the only big brainness I'll ever get is from brain swelling.
Jogging is a hazardous occupation.
I completely forgot that they had that where so you know you've got 2 levels using the flashlight. Just the passive, it's out and pointing at them, which you know wears them down. Then focusing it, and I forgot that there's some like boss enemies like that where you have to focus it, and that's what uses up your battery meter. It's good. It's tense. It's cool. Also, fuck chainsaw enemies. Max 999 score on the final Winnie the Pooh minigame in Kingdom Hearts 2. Congratulations! I don't remember which minigame that is. I'm sure it probably sucked, though. I'm remembering how Kingdom Hearts 3 has a bunch of minigames that are just like, yeah, these just feel like PS2 minigames. And I kind of love that about it, but also I hate them so much.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What, am I crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on. I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods.
How do you say goodbye to yourself when your Kingdom Hearts 1 destroyed me on replay? Yeah, that's ah.
The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it. But it felt all wrong. Call it instinct. His posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
2, 3 left. I think I've missed. And yeah, it's not a huge deal. It's full of cool stuff. There's no like hidden ending or anything to this game, thankfully, that requires you to get all of them or some shit like that.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
Not today. Oh god, I completely fucking forgot about the driving in this game. Oh yeah, this is super good. Fuck. Yeah, there we go. Ah, it feels a little rough. Okay, can't get out. Let's see, is there anything back here? Let's see. Oop. Hey, buddy boy. What? I'm gonna take fresh car. Odd. Oh, oh, oh. God, this was you are. Do it. Yeah. Okay.
There was no misunderstanding. Cauldron Lake was where Alice and I had stayed, but there was no cabin and no island. I was missing a week. What had happened to me? What had happened to Alice? I had to get her back. I couldn't face life without her.
The driving in this doesn't feel very good. Probably a reason why I completely forgot about it. Oh. Checkpoints. Cool. Down here. Just okay, yeah. The other pathway. Actually, road. It's like Dead Island driving but in third person. Ooh, yeah, that's no, that's exactly how it feels, you're right.
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing.
Yeah.
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me.
Yes, I get you.
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
Chronicles of Alan Wake Pitch Black, yeah, basically. Wow, rewatching Pitch Black recently, it's really wild how, like, fucking stellar that movie is.
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
He says as I point a flare gun in his fucking
I
face.
sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Me, anytime I try to work on the
Barry
Halo
Wheeler
4
speaking.
script.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
Bye now.
See you soon.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the old
dear diner.
Good girl.
Come here. Pretty please. Can you tell me where I am? You want to say something?
And that's episode 2 of Alan Wake. Yeah, this game is still super solid. It's just the right balance of, at least so far, of really tense and not overly difficult, but it's also you're not having a cakewalk.
Previously on Alan Wake, Alice has been kidnapped.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
That's enough for tonight. Oh man, yeah, no, I'm really enjoying revisiting this. I haven't played Alan Wake in I think the better part of 5 or 6 years, maybe longer, probably. I just haven't played it to completion since it was like just on 360 still, so it's been a minute. But yeah, I hope those that came out are enjoying going through this with me. Sorry again for the 3-month wait. I'll probably stream again either at the end of this week or again on Tuesday of next week. So that'll be a good time. But for now, everyone gets to listen to Uplift Spice because a wonderful, awful person for pointing me towards them. But yeah, thank you again for everyone coming out, and all have yourselves a wonderful evening.